Yes, but you won't be if you don't turn your radio off now.
Okay, it's off.
Thank you.
And what happened was, a motorcyclist was riding past me house, and he came off the motorbike, and he was quite badly injured. So I got my car out the garage. Now I must emphasise that the hospital, the nearest hospital to my house...
You got your car out the garage, get on with it.
Yeah, and the hospital is nearer than the phone box, so you can appreciate that I didn't go and phone an ambulance. I'm phoning for my
You got your car out the garage, now get on with it.
Okay, well, I dropped him off at the hospital, at the casualty, and on the way back I got stopped by the police, and I never had any insurance. And I got prosecuted for this.
Good. Have you now been banned from driving?
Well, Alan, the fella was in a bad way.
I don't care what the fella was in, that doesn't give you the right to put other people's lives at risk. Goodbye. How do Shane?
Alright, I want to talk about these qualifying rounds at Preston Guildhall.
The what?
I went today.
You want to talk about the what?
The qualifying snooker rounds at Guildhall, Preston.
I didn't even know there was anything going on. Never mind, go on.
Well, I went today and I watched Tony Drago versus Paul Eaton, and this Paul Eaton's a brilliant snooker player, right?
Well, we're very pleased to hear it. We don't give a toss on this programme. Go away. Hello, Jane. Or Jan. Hello, John.
Hello?
Yep.
Alan, I'd like to ask you whether I'm able to draw supplementary benefit for the 12 weeks in between my leaving school and getting to college.
When do you leave school?
June.
For the summer recess?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Well, not even for
Not at all.
weeks.
You don't become entitled to supplementary benefit, if at all, until I think it is September.
Oh. Well, what if I was leaving at Easter?
If you were leaving at Easter, the case would be different.
Even if I was taking exams?
If you were taking exams, you wouldn't be leaving.
No, like, you can't...
Well, John, it really doesn't make any difference to you what the Easter situation is. You're leaving in June, you're not entitled to supplementary before you go to college. It's as straightforward as that. Goodbye.
Right.
How do Daryl?
Hello, Alan. I've got a job for you.
Good. I don't want to hear it. How do Vanessa?
Hello, Alan. I'd like to tell you, there's a man came on yesterday who said that gay stood for good as you.
That did what?
Said that gay stood for good as you.
Oh, I see, yes.
Yeah, well, it doesn't stand for that. It stands for got AIDS yet.
Yeah, it's a very old joke. Well, not all that old, because AIDS hasn't been around that long, of course. But if that's how you get your kicks, Maria, or Vanessa, what a foul-mouthed cow like you's doing with a name like Vanessa, Lord knows. But Maria, how do to you? Maria appears not to want to speak to us. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is Star Wars, if I may, please.
The film or the policy?
No, the policy in Star
Excellent.
Wars.
Let us hear it then.
Right. There's something what's, confusing me great deal about this Star Wars, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it the intention of the Americans, the reason they want Star Wars is that it will save the world from nuclear war? We can have perhaps a nuclear war in space. Is that correct? In theory?
No, that isn't exactly correct.
But near enough?
No, not really.
Oh. Well...
I mean, the first bit of it is correct, in that America claims that Star Wars would prevent nuclear war.
Right. Well, what worries me about it, it would be great if there was a war between the two great powers and nothing would happen to all the innocent people. But surely if Russia sent off half a dozen nuclear warheads into the atmosphere, I take it they leave the atmosphere and go out into space.
Some do, some don't. Go on.
And if Star Wars, whatever it is, what's up there, laser beam intercepts it, and I take it blows it up in space, surely it would have an effect on the world's axis. Surely something would happen to us if...
that rather depends on the size of the explosion. Of course, the explosion may not be that great in space.
Mm-hmm. Well, but if there's going to be a nuclear war, they're not only going to send one over.
Well, indeed. But if there is in existence an impenetrable shield, there's not much point in sending them, is there?
What do you mean by something shield?
An impenetrable means you can't get through it. So if an impenetrable shield exists, there is little point. If you surround yourself in concrete without any gaps in that concrete at all, no one is going to waste their ammunition firing bullets at you, are they?
No.
Right, because they're not going to get through.
Right.
So that is the idea of Star Wars. It is, if you like, an electronic concrete layer over the Earth, so that should anything go up there, it can't come back.
Well, surely that's a good idea then.
On the face of it, it's a good idea, yes. Unfortunately, it appears at the moment that it is only a project to cover extraterrestrial, if you like, things that leave our atmosphere. It's only covering those, whereas an awful lot of the weaponry that's available now, for example, the cruise missile, doesn't leave the atmosphere. In fact, it hugs the ground. That's the whole idea of it.
So it won't be detected. But,
well, whether it be detected or not is another story, but it won't be covered by Star Wars.
But the Russians said, or I think the Americans said, you know, they would agree with the Russians to share their knowledge.
Indeed, and if that were true, and if it were as effective as Reagan likes to think it will be, let's face it, he'll be dead, thank heaven, before it ever gets anywhere near us, but if it were as effective as he would have us believe it is, then giving it to the Russians would merely, if you like, nullify the value of American weapons, or indeed anybody else's weapons, and that would mean that neither side would have to have them. And that is perfect, wonderful, but that isn't what happens. What has always happened was men started to hit one another, and they found that they weren't always winning, so one of them picked up a kosh and started to use a kosh, so the other one got a shield and a kosh, and on it went until we got bows and arrows and shields, and then we got rifles and blunderbusses and things, and then we got artillery, and then we got nuclear weapons. And if somebody invents a shield for nuclear weapons, somebody else will invent the ability to penetrate them. As long as we continue on this war footing. So the only way to render weapons useless is for human beings to stop pressing the button.
Okay.
All right?
Yep, let's hope it's better than the space shuttle, eh?
Well, the space shuttle I've got a lot of faith in actual fact. I would ride the space shuttle tomorrow.
So would I.
Right.
But, let's hope it...
Indeed, but if we say that the space shuttle is bad because one of them's blown up, we forget the fact that an awful lot of them have gone up there and come back. We should ban buses if we're going to ban them when they have an accident.
Of course, but surely the people who are investigating space shuttle, are they not the same people who will be involved in nuclear weapons?
They might be if they change jobs, but ostensibly no.
And they've spent enough money on space shuttles, so I doubt very much whether something as complicated as you know, the Star Wars could ever exist.
Well, Mr. Regan doesn't agree with you. All right?
I know. Okay.
Ta-ra, Paul.
Right.
How do Lionel?
All right, Alan. So
Yeah.
I listen to your show every night.
Fine, what do you want?
I'm sick to death of these scousers mouthing off every
Fine,
night.
we'll listen to someone else then. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Alan. Hello?
Yes?
Hello. I was walking down the road the other day.
Round of applause. I didn't think someone with an accent like yours could actually walk down a road.
Carpets, Easter sale.
Never mind. How do Andrew? Hello, Stephen. We give up. How do Andrew?
Hello?
Oh, we've got you. Is your name Andrew?
Oh, yeah.
Well, why have you took all piggy night to answer, you
Well,
gormless
she said
sod? Goodbye. How do Tim?
Hello, Alan. You said that,
Never mind what I say. Goodbye. How do Paul?
Hello, I'd like to speak about skull bandits.
About what?
Skull bandits.
Oh, that filth. Go on then.
Yeah, well, I think they're very harmful.
Fine.
I think they
Is that
shouldn't be
it?
sold in shops.
Well, where should they sell them then?
Nowhere, they shouldn't.
Oh, they shouldn't be sold at all.
Pardon?
So you're saying they shouldn't be sold at all?
No, not at all.
Well, you should have said that then, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
How do to line 2, whose name I've forgotten? John.
Hello, Alan.
How do John?
2 nights ago, you had a fella on saying that it's bad to smoke if you're a Christian.
I don't remember that.
Pardon?
I don't remember anyone saying it was bad to smoke if you were a Christian.
Yeah, he was saying...
Well, I don't remember it.
He was saying it's against the thing, and you were asking him whereabouts in the Bible it was.
No, you're absolutely wrong. You've mixed up a number of calls and put them all into one. You have a poor memory, it would seem.
You did, honestly.
No, I did not.
Well...
The conversation was about whether homosexuality if you were a homosexual, whether you could at the same time be a Christian. That was what we were talking about. Goodbye. Howdy, Chris.
How you do, Alan? I've got two big problems concerning Red Rose Radio.
You've not... Oh, come on. What is it?
The problems is that I can't find any newspapers that advertise your programmes, and secondly, you're a real pig to receive.
Well, where are you?
In Burnley.
What, in Burnley?
Yeah.
Well, you ought to be able to get our programmes over there. You can get the Lancashire Evening Telegraph in Burnley, don't you?
Sometimes.
Well, it is on sale in Burnley.
Oh, well, yes. The thing is...
Well, they're in there most days.
Yeah, but you're not in any of the free papers, even the ones that like to advertise in your programme.
Well, I would suggest to you then that you get in touch with the free papers and say to them, why are you not printing Red Rose Radio's programmes in there?
Yeah, the other
we tell them, so it's up to them.
Yeah.
We don't really care. The other problem is the signal. Now, there's only one cure to that, and that is to notify the IBA.
Yes, well, the thing is Burnley actually in your catchment area of Red Rose Radio?
Yes, it is. It's part of Lancashire, so it must be.
Yeah, it's just that I seem to recollect that originally when you started broadcasting quite a few years ago, that only half of Burnley were covered.
Well, it was all covered. It's just that when the map was drawn, to make the, if you like, to make the map more accurate and more simplistic, they did this sort of half circle, didn't they? That included Barrow and Southport and came round in a great big half circle. But I think all of Burnley was involved.
No.
The bits just beyond Burnley that are in Yorkshire aren't involved, of course.
It's just that if it's anything like the television, then the area that I live in isn't really covered by Wintrail.
Yeah, well, our VHF transmitters at Winter Hill, you see. So that's where you.
I would assume that it has the same problems as television has.
Absolutely.
The relay.
Absolutely.
Oh well.
Sorry about that. But if you write to the IBA, the only way to change it is to write to the IBA. If enough people write to the IBA, because they own the transmitter, you see, we don't.
Yeah.
It's their transmitter. They operate it. They put the signal strength out and everything. If you write to the IBA, either courtesy of Red Rose Radio, and we'll pass your letter on, or write to them in Manchester or Brompton Road in London and tell them that the strength of their signal is crap, then you may actually get a change, but it'll need quite a few people to do the writing.
I thought they were at Crawley Court anyhow.
Their actual headquarters in London is Brompton Road.
Oh, it's just that I thought they said that any problems with stuff like that you should contact Crawley Court.
That's probably where their engineering department is, but if you write to the administrators, they've got more power.
All right.
All right?
Okay then.
Ta-ra. How do, Dean?
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about anabolic steroids in sports, if I may.
Go on.
Well, I'm a runner, and I run at Woodhouse Stadium in Wigan, and my coach offered me anabolic steroids, and I said no, because I have heard rumours about them, like, but could you tell me if you know any effects of them, like, and whether I should do or not do to keep up with the other athletes?
The answer to the question, should you use them or not, is fairly straightforward. No, you should not. What they actually do to you medically, I am not awfully clear, but your doctor will explain it to you, but do not use them.
So, keep off them then, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I've seen...
If you do not have a health reason for taking any substance, do not take it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of other runners, like, and they can't have to do some distances, but...
Well, let them do it.
Yeah,
They'll be knackered very shortly.
Yeah, they said the side effects of them are not all that very nice.
Well, I don't know what those side effects are, but your doctor will be more than happy to tell you, I'm sure. But do not take them.
Okay.
Ta-da. Okay. Billy, you're next.
This Easter, if you're looking for...
Billy.
Hello, Alan. I didn't originally come on to talk about this, but seeing that last caller was on about steroids. Yeah?
Go on.
Well, I know about all the side effects and everything.
What are they?
Well, for one thing, it causes liver degeneration. Another thing is it gives you cancer. It can give you cancer. And how it works is that the protein that you take in, what it does is when, in a normal person, you eliminate protein that you don't need. But with steroids, it causes you to use all that up for muscle and strength. And afterwards, when you come off them, all the benefits that you've got on them go away just as fast. And while you're off them, your natural production of hormones doesn't start up again, because that's what you were putting in the first place, hormones, you see. And during that time that you're off them, all sorts of bad things can happen. You can get baldness and all sorts of things, you know, and they're really, you know...
Well, I don't know that baldness could be described as a bad thing, but never mind.
No, premature baldness.
Right, well, premature baldness happens to all sorts of people, so that's no big worry. I mean, look at Ernie, our security guard. His hair fell out when he was about 7. Never mind. Thank you for that, Billy.
OK.
Ta-ra. How do, Dale?
What are you after, Beswick? Some kind...
Absolutely nothing.
From that bleeding rich guy, or what?
After what?
Some kind of backhander off that John Moores guy, you big suckhole.
Is that it?
After some kind of award off the...
Oh, I see. Dale, are you one of those people that doesn't actually like the police?
I don't like John Moores. He should have had his head coshed in, the rich scumbag.
Why do you not like him? Because he earned his living?
Oh, don't give me that. Since when have you heard, like, a burglary on a working class person advertised over the radio?
Well, to be perfectly frank, it isn't absolutely essential. I suppose it is for some half-wit like you, but it isn't absolutely essential. Are you going to shut up and listen or not?
Go ahead, then.
You would like an answer, would you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Are you suggesting that just because you were born working class and you were born into a poor family, that you, for the whole of your life, have to stay poor?
No.
No. Well, John Moores, just as a matter of record for a cretin like you, was born... Well, all the evidence points to the fact that you are a cretin, Dale. Now, if you come on here... Well, this may or may not be the case. Do you want your education improved, or do you want to remain an uneducated arsehole for the rest of your life? Now, which is it? Oh, you do. Right, well, shut your filthy little mouth and listen. Oh, dear, dear, dear. We are tough, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, you'll get an award off the Chief Constable.
Well, I may well get an award. So far, arsehole, all you've done is get an award for the people of Liverpool, proving that they are the filth that you portray them to be. Is that it? Is that the sum total of your intellect?
I've got quite a lot more if you want it.
Let us hear it.
No.
I thought you said you'd do it if I wanted.
All right,
Let us hear it. Get it off your chest.
Why?
No reason. You just felt like you wanted to get some kind of sexual ejaculation from using rude words. Let us hear it.
Coming up to the rich scumbags.
Yes, well, let us hear all you've got to say.
All right.
Substantiate your position.
Well, put it this way, since when... How many
That's a question. That is a question. Would you like to substantiate your position? Don't ask questions. Tell us exactly what you've got to say.
OK, countless burglaries go on in Liverpool every day of the week. Since when has there any evidence or anything like that being advertised on the radio to convict somebody?
Do you not think that there is a particular piece of information in this case that is rather different to your run-of-the-mill burglary?
I'm quite sure the police have had evidence like that in the past, only...
Well, you may well be sure.
On the radio.
You may well be sure, but I've never been asked to be involved before, otherwise I would have been. Because I actually want criminals...
So it's got nothing to do with this guy being mega wealthy?
It's got absolutely nothing to do with that at all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you must believe what you believe. I actually want criminals locked up, whether they be criminals...
Well, why don't you be a policeman, then?
Because I'd never be fit to be a policeman. I'm not good enough to be a policeman.
What do you mean, good enough? They're all scumbags.
Well, obviously I'm not good enough. Now, if I'm not good enough, and you're less than me, that makes you the dregs. Now, have you anything else to say?
What?
Have you anything else to say?
Yeah.
Then say it.
What's the difference between...
That is a question. Have you got anything else to say?
Yeah.
If you want to do a survey, I suggest you learn to write and get in the centre of Liverpool. Goodbye, jerk. You have proved yet again that on this programme, Liverpool people are worth nothing. Thank you for that proof. How do, Ian?
Hello? I run a disco, right?
I don't know whether that's right or not, and if you speak like that when you're doing your disco, it's no wonder you're a pauper.
Hang on. Alan? Alan?
I am still here.
Alright. Is there any way that you can get records cheap? Because I've been doing it for a bit.
Yes, buy 5 million of them. Well, charge more for your disco if you're good enough.
You know, like from the shops, is there any way you can get
Yes, buy 5 million of every record and you'll get them very cheap, I assure you.
Now, come on, stop messing around, is there?
I've no idea. I don't buy records. All the records I require I get for free.
Well, you know, like, would it be helpful to go to a warehouse or something?
I have no idea. I've just told you that.
Alright. Okay. Talk.
Bye. I'll do Ian. I'll do Marcus.
How do, Alan?
Well?
I'd like to talk about these scousers calling people from Wigan.
I'm sure you would, Marcus, and when you can work your voice without actually pretending to be somebody else, we'll talk to you. Until then, I suggest you get your pyjamas and go to bed. Hello, James.
Oh, Alan, I was wanting to talk about a little incident that happened last night. I was driving the car into the forecourt of a garage, and a young man in front of me in a pickup truck drove into the back of me. He had a long piece of pipe sticking out of the back of the...
He drove into the back of you. I really do not require a description of his vehicle.
Okay. Anyway, the pipe hit the front of the bonnet and scraped it all, and he drove
You
off.
have some damage.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
And, well,
what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
The police couldn't give me the...
What do you want to know?
I want to know his address.
I don't know it. I'll do to nobody. We're having a break. Nearly time for the news, so we won't go to Gary until about 3.5 minutes past midnight. Sorry, Gary. Such is life. It's the real world we live in. If you'd like to drop us a line, I'll give you the address after the news. But right now it's time to go to London.
The Midnight News, this is Alan King. 2 men have been arrested after armed police stormed a house in West London. The siege began after the men fled into a house at Richmond in Surrey following a high-speed car chase. The man in charge of the police operation, Superintendent Alistair McLean, says the police had to be very cautious because the men had been armed.
We knew that they were dangerous, yes.
How difficult do you think the operation was here this evening?
Extremely difficult. It's always very tricky and dangerous to search for armed men in fairly enclosed spaces and in houses. You can understand the danger yourself of walking up a stair in the darkness. And I've got to pay tribute to the men from our Tactical Firearms branch for the work they've done tonight.
The Greater London Council and the 6 metropolitan counties have come to the end of their last working day under Mrs Thatcher's abolition regime. But though official council business is now finished, all the Labour-controlled authorities are planning a final fling before their demise at midnight on Monday. Eleanor Curtie reports.
Today saw a mixture of solemn ceremony, last-minute business and wild parties. All the councils have a programme of entertainments for the Easter weekend. They're most lavish in London, where the GLC has erected a huge video screen outside County Hall so that leader Ken Livingstone and guests can relay messages to the crowd outside. On Monday there'll be a rock concert and other entertainment, culminating in a fireworks display that's cost the council £150,000. A message already on the County Hall roof reads, "We'll meet again."
Fleet Street is in trouble again with disputes threatening 4 national papers. Unofficial industrial action has stopped the London editions of the Mirror, while staff at the Daily and Sunday Express and Daily Star have been told the papers will be shut down after Easter unless the unions agree to a cost-cutting package which involved 2,500 job losses. Publisher Robert Maxwell has also suspended publication indefinitely of his Scottish papers, the Daily Record and the Sunday Mail. President Reagan's supporters in the Senate have moved one step further to pushing through his plan to give $100 million to right-wing rebels in Nicaragua. Republicans now look set to vote in favor of a proposal to release $25 million in aid to the Contras immediately, with the rest of the money available 3 months later if diplomatic strategies have failed. Meanwhile, President Reagan has left Washington for an Easter break on his ranch, heaping praise on the American fleet in the Gulf of Sirte that repelled Libyan attacks. Andrew Mandelstam reports.
Mr. Reagan, who was making a brief stopover in New Orleans on his way to his Californian ranch for the Easter holidays, said that he telephoned the commander of the U.S. fleet to send him a well-done message. The American president said the fundamental principle of freedom of the seas had been upheld in the face of a reckless and illegal Libyan attack. Mr. Reagan added that the action had made clear to the whole world that the United States had the will and the ability to defend the West's interests. Andrew Mandelstam, IRN, Washington.
Scotland Yard says a total of 7 police officers, including a chief inspector and an inspector, are now suspended from duty after a London inquest found a Hells Angel was unlawfully killed by police when he was arrested last July. Independent Radio News.
Red Rose Stereo. Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the Late Night Show.
And of course the number is Preston 561,000. Welcome. 3.5 minutes past midnight on a fine Good Friday morning. If you are a Christian, despite all we said yesterday and the day before, if you are a Christian, have yourself a very religious Good Friday. How do, Gary?
Hello, Alan?
Yep.
I'd like to talk about the breaking of the contracts from the BBC about the Miss Great Britain.
You'd like to talk about it? I'm sure you would like to talk about it. It seems you don't have the ability to talk, let alone talk about it.
I'd just like to say that the BBC shouldn't be allowed to get away with breaking it.
Well, first of all, Gary, we must establish, because it is yet to be established in law, whether the BBC did in fact break any contract.
There was a contract and they broke.
Gary, very expensive lawyers don't know that to be the case. So you saying that it is hardly convincing. There may or may not be a court case in the future about it, and then it will be decided whether the BBC did or did not break a contract.
Can I just say one thing? Morecambe High School.
How do, Graham?
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
There's a cat next door to us called Dusty, and it keeps creeping into our garden and doing a shit on me flowers. Well, you know, if I shot it with my air gun, could I be prosecuted?
Yes.
So, what you reckon?
Yes is the answer to the question, isn't it? It's a fairly straightforward answer, even for a prat like you. Hello, John. Hello, Scott.
Yeah, Alan, when I was at school, right...
I don't know whether it's right.
The teacher asked two people to stand up and tell a little riddle, so a little girl stood up and said, "My dad's a policeman, he wears a suit of blue. He's got a truncheon and he carries a pistol too." I stood up and said, "My dad's on the dole, he gets his dole 11 and he's on the pistol too."
What did the teacher say? It doesn't rhyme.
I know it. Just give me a smack.
Not hard enough, it would seem. We've done it again. How do, Rachel?
Hiya.
Yeah.
Can I have an Allan Beswick poster, please? 3 feet by 2 feet.
We don't have any Allan Beswick posters.
Well, can't you make them? Can't you get a firm to make them? Because I think a lot of people would want one.
Well, I'll give it some thought.
But will you have a vote to see on...
No.
Why?
Well, the vote won't make any difference. Whether we have an Allan Beswick poster is a financial decision, nothing else.
We'll see how many people would want one.
Well, I don't care how many people would want one. We shall consider it, and that's the end of the matter.
Okay.
All right, ta-ra.
It's the place to come where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
Waterloo Road in Blackpool has a number of markets dotted along it, but two of them stand out from the rest, the Newmarket and M2 Market. They're both packed with top quality bargains to give you peace of mind when shopping. The Newmarket and M2 Market are also convenient because they're directly opposite each other on Waterloo Road, Blackpool. Don't settle for anything else and don't be fooled by imitations. The Newmarket and M2 Market are the original and still the best.
It's the place to come where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
Tell me, fellow, art this fair citadel the abode of international Ford?
Yes, sire.
Praise the Ford! Merlin told me of their wondrous car deals, so thence did I travel over hills and dales, across raging torrents, murderous motorways, and the bodies of malevolent goblins with yellow bands round their hats. 'Twas all worth it.
International Ford's deals are so good, they're legendary. Call round to Garstang Road, Broughton, or phone Preston 862-601 and see for yourself.
Prithee, sirrah, how much part exchange on this horse? Only one owner, carefully galloped in, economical to run, only 10,000 leagues on the...
Bellway Homes Spring Sale ends Easter Monday. Yes, Bellway made its spring bright and early this year, but if you hurry, you can still save lots of money on a beautiful brick-built Bellway home. There are still a few available at sale prices, but remember, the spring sale must end Easter Monday. So come and make the most of spring at Bellway. See your local press for details or dial 100 and ask for free phone Bellway. We'll put a little sunshine in your life.
Carpets, Easter sale now on. Open Bank Holiday Monday. Hundreds of rows to choose from. Prices from only 50p a square yard at the Carpet Supermarket, Fletcher Road, Preston.
How do, Tim? Tim's gone. How do, Ian?
Hello, Alan. Occasionally, when I'm just walking along the streets of Ulverston, minding my own business, people occasionally come up to me and say, "Hey, aren't you the guy that smashed Allan Beswick's head in?" And I say, "Yes."
Well, you must all get your kicks somehow, must you not?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I actually did it, Alan.
Did you?
Blackpool, about 2 months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, it's...
Do you not remember?
Well, I rather thought I would remember if somebody did that, but
well, you won't.
No, I don't.
Well, I knocked 7 bells out of you, so you probably won't be able to remember anything.
I see.
Well, that's it. What do you
Oh, very good.
Well, what do you think of all these people that come up and hassle me, like, saying, oh, aren't you the guy that smashed Beswick's head in?
I don't think about them at all. In fact, I spend my brain with other occupations than considering you and your silly little story.
Well, in fact, Alan, in the future, right?
Why do you say right?
Well, why not?
I don't know whether it's right or wrong until you tell me.
Okay. Well, in the future, TV will be so good that the printed word will function as an art form only.
Well, we all look forward to that, I'm sure.
Well, anyway, what do you think about me sort of knocking your head in anyway?
Well, I think about that, about as much of that as I do about your opinion of television replacing the printed word.
Well, can I talk
Can I tell you something that you might find it... I can. You might not even want to hear it, but I can always tell you. But I won't bother. How do, Roger?
Hello, Alan. I want to talk about last night when someone phoned up about boxing, and you said that the people did...
I don't want to know what I said! I can remember for myself! How many times I've got to say it?
Yeah.
Get off, cretin! Hello, Tony.
Hello, Alan, I've heard you a couple of times about this 7-second delay. Yeah.
What?
You know this 7-second delay?
Of course I know it. What do you think I do for 4 hours of pigging night? I sit here!
Well,
of course I know it! Well, cretin! Who's on line 2, Alice? Hello, Lee.
Hello. All right, Al.
What do you want?
Yeah, you know, I wanted your views, like, about...
Well, I don't give views. How many times have I got to say that? What's up with people out there? Are they all as thick as pig shite? How do, Simon?
Hold on. Just calm down a minute.
I'll calm down if you're not another gormless prat.
Hello?
Oh, goodbye. I'm not waiting all day for you either. Hello, Tony.
The name's Tommy.
All right, Tommy, what do you want?
I'd like to talk to you about earwigs, please.
About what?
Earwigs.
I don't care about earwigs.
Why not? They're beautiful little creatures.
Well, you have them for your supper then. Hello, Andrew.
How do, Alan? I bet I know something what you don't.
Everybody knows something what I don't. How do, Sheila?
Hello, Alan.
Yes?
It's Tony Murphy, South America here, and I'd just like to say that...
Go to South America. How do, Yasser?
Hello, Alan. Listen, I'd like to talk to you about Gaddafi. I have a particular reason for doing so. My parents are Libyan. Now, I've lived in England all my life, and I still have a strong affiliation to Libya, though. And I have been very disappointed about the publicity given to the recent confrontations between Libya and USA. Now then, I, of course, would support Libyans on this and support Gaddafi.
Why would you support the Libyan?
Well, I feel that the USA are invading our territorial rights.
Well, first of all, when you say our territory, do you mean the Libyan territory?
I am referring to the territorial waters surrounding Libya. I mean, it's quite clear that the USA have been provocative. And they
declaring territorial waters to be yours that were not yours previously could be considered by some to be provocative in itself.
Well, I would compare it to Britain. I mean, there's Britain, of course, has got a stronger history of seafaring, whatever. The Rule Britannia, an example. Now then, I think Britain...
How does Rule Britannia...
count the English Channel, the North Sea, as their territorial waters.
They don't count the English Channel and the North Sea as their territorial waters, but there is an international agreement about what degree of sea, as it were, how far into the sea you can claim as territorial waters. That used to be about 5 miles, I think. Then it went to 20, and in recent years has moved to 200 in certain circumstances.
Well, you see, I think you put your finger on the point there, Alan, because the fact is that however far the distance is, the USA still have the capability of hitting our missile sites.
Well, if that's the case, if that is the case, then it would be perfectly acceptable for Mr. Gaddafi to say that the whole of the Pacific Ocean was his territory, because of course America could hit him from their own shores.
No, that's quite ridiculous. What I'm saying...
Ridiculous it may well be, but it was you that implied it, not I. I merely took the implication from what you said.
Libya should be given the rights of safety. That's very simple.
Libya will never have the right of safety as long as it is happy to help terrorism in other countries.
Oh, I think you're going on to a different point now.
No, you asked... I'm sorry, you asked them to be given safety. A man who stands in the town centre smacking passing people on the nose is unlikely to get any respect when asked should he be protected from others.
No, well,
the answer is he's going to get 7 colours of the stuff that's good for the roses kicked out of him. Now, I don't approve of that course of action, but it is, in this society worldwide, an inevitable consequence of his action. Now, Gaddafi has spoken out in favour of terrorism many times.
Well, Alan, you have cleverly diverted the subject.
No, you introduced his desire for protection. Now, my suggestion to you is you can very easily be protected, and that is to not attack.
Well, I am saying that we were not the aggressors. The USA...
It rather depends on how you look at it.
We were attacked.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry.
Point of view here.
America was travelling in airspace that has until recently been regarded by even Gaddafi as international airspace. Now then, Gaddafi, without negotiation with anybody, suddenly declares a line of death. That was the term he used. Now, that doesn't sound like a defensive move to me. Language like line of death sounds to me like inflammatory language.
Well, maybe I can bring you to another point.
Well,
now,
would you like to solve that one? Would you like to solve that one first?
No, I do not think so. I'm afraid I disagree.
Are you disagreeing with what I say Gaddafi said, or are you disagreeing with my interpretation that what he said, as per my quote, was inflammatory? Which are you disagreeing with?
I think the line of death was taken out of total proportion.
So when you say it was taken out of proportion, would you like to dress it up in any way you like and make a term line of death? Those were his quoted words. Would you like to make the term line of death sound non-inflammatory? Tell me how you're going to dress that up.
The word death is got more associated with the Libyans, what has happened to the Libyans.
Well, it has recently, but of course Mr. Gaddafi, when he made the statement, wasn't aware of that, because that was the first step in this schmozzle. Now, would you like
in all fairness,
well, let us just not worry about fairness too much, and let us rely on accuracy. Mr. Gaddafi declared international airspace to be Libyan airspace, and said that there is now a line of death. Now, that was the first move in this conflict. Now, would you like to justify not just the line, but the title he gave to it? Would you like to tell me, because you tell me the, quote, line of death was taken out of context. Would you like to put it into context? Would you like to put it into context and remove the inflammatory tone therein?
Because I, in fact, think that that quote is a supporting point to Mr. Gaddafi, for the plain reason that from that comment that he came out with, the USA obviously knew that they had no right whatsoever to be in that place.
They weren't in that place at that time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did ask you to stick to the facts. When the statement was made, the Americans were not in even the disputed territory. They were not in that territory.
Why did they go
and, well, we'll worry about that in a moment. We're talking about where it started. You said the Americans' action were inflammatory. I agree with you. There's no doubt about that. I agree with that bit. However, I do not exonerate Gaddafi. The man is an idiotic thug, if the truth be known. However, to say suddenly, right, this international space is now ours, and the other side of it is a line of death. Now, those were the words he used. You did tell me you were going to convince me that those were taken out of context. I would like to hear them in context, and I would like to hear you justify them as non-inflammatory. You have the floor.
We're not playing with listeners.
I know we're not playing, Yasser. We are talking about words. Yasser, do not try to win on the basis of stupidity. You said you were going to put those words in context. Now do so or get off.
Well, I am saying to you, we are not playing with soldiers.
Put those words in context or get off, Yasser. You chose the course, now use it.
Right, it is a matter of death, Mr. Gaddafi.
Yasser, you're a prat. Goodbye. And if all Libyans are like you, it's no wonder that an idiot like that can run that godforsaken country. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Alan. Hello?
Yes, we've done that. What do you want?
I'd like to talk about YTS schemes.
Well, you can't. I'm sick of them. How do, Graham? Goodbye, Graham. How do, James? Speak, idiot. Seems he can't. Perhaps he is an idiot. Hello, Michael.
Hello. Hi, Alan. I'd like to speak about a football game I played in the other day.
Well, we don't want to hear it. We're bored to the back teeth with football. It's the most stupid game ever invented. Played by morons and watched by thugs. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Alan.
What do you want?
I'd like to talk about legalising cannabis.
Why?
Because I don't think it should be legalised whatsoever.
Why?
Because I know someone who's been...
Why?
Because I know someone...
I don't care if you know someone. If you're going to base a theory for life on the basis of one person, then you're a pillock. And no, I won't go away in the manner you suggested. How do, Barney?
Hello, Alan. Do you know when you go home tonight, Alan?
Yes, I do. 2 o'clock. Thanks for asking all the same, just in case I'd forgotten, perhaps.
Bloomendaal's Garden Centre at Park Old Charnock Ridget is bloomin' massive, with over 30,000 square feet of houseplants, the largest selection in the United Kingdom. Bloomendaal's grow all their houseplants, which means they're always fresh and haven't been sitting on supermarket shelves for weeks. Don't pay too much for inferior houseplants. Come to Bloomendaal's, the Dutch houseplant supermarket, for the finest quality plants at the lowest prices. At Park Old Charnock Ridget near Chorley.
Bloomendaal's, open all weekend.
Blinking heck, Dave, why don't you get a decent radio to match this flash car?
Well, that one cost an arm and a leg, but it's never been much good.
Yeah, you need to contact West Horton Car Radio, mate. They've got superb systems by Blaupunkt and Panasonic. Hey, and they've got the Blaupunkt D-Stock range at less than half the normal price. None of this distortion like with one of them.
Blaupunkt what?
Blaupunkt. It's German, ain't it? I thought you were supposed to be brainy. Hey, you can also get electric windows, vehicle alarms and car phones fitted by West Horton Car Radio.
So, find the right station with West Horton Car Radio, Church Street, West Horton. Phone West Horton 814-229 before you crack up.
Car telephones aren't just for company directors and international VIPs. They're well within your budget. Northwest Cellular Telephones will install a phone in your car, costing you as little as £3.99 per week. That's right, just £3.99 per week. A small price to pay for the convenience of keeping you in contact with the outside world whilst on the move. For more details, call Northwest Cellular Telephones now on Preston 31 2031. That's Preston 31 2031. They'll put the world literally at your fingertips.
Talk, man.
That looks nice.
It's the Washington State apple from Morrison's.
Looks delicious.
That's because Morrison's only sell the very best.
Looks so full of flavour.
I told you, it's the Washington State apple.
It really does look excellent.
That's because it's been specially selected by Morrison's to ensure you enjoy it right down to the last bite.
Let's have a taste then.
No.
Why not?
It's my last one.
Washington State apples, far too special to share with just anyone. Delicious to the last bite. Available now at all Morrison stores at 49p a pound.
I'll do, Alan.
Hello, Alan? We haven't got a... Well, I'd like to know your opinion on that.
I don't give opinions to start conversations. Ring me back when you can phrase your subject without asking me a question. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Alan? Would you agree that smoking should be banned?
That is a question. How do to line 1. Vicky. Hello, Vicky. Turn your radio off. Is it off? Your radio is still on, Vicky. Turn it off.
Alright.
Goodbye. How do Paul? Hello, Phil.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to pick your brains on a few subjects if it's at
at all possible.
I'm not sure we can manage a few subjects, but we'll see.
Yes. Well, insurance purposes. I went down to the insurance place today and inquired about insuring a second car. Yes. And they told me that you don't have any no claims on a second car. You start from scratch. Would you happen to know if that's true or not?
I suppose it varies from company to company. Some companies may be prepared to give you a no claims on a second car, but one wonders why they should, given that you can only be in one car at a time, and if you're insuring it as a second car, it is presumably for somebody else to drive.
Yes, for my wife.
Then has your wife earned entitlement to...
No, she's been driving on my insurance, my car.
So that is why, isn't it? Your wife has no earned entitlement to a no claims bonus, and she's going to be the driver.
Yes, quite true.
However, I'm sure if you shopped around, you'd find someone that'd be prepared to give you some no claims bonus on a second car.
Yes, like I said, I'd like to pick up a few subjects, if I may.
This is the last one, so go on.
All right. Yes, how long does endorsements last on your licence?
They last 4 years. Sorry, no, they last and are active for 3 years, but you cannot have them removed from the licence for 4 years. That used to be the rule. The rules will have changed, of course, when they changed from endorsements in the normal way to the totting up system of points that came recently, about 4 years ago, I think. No, not as long as that, 2 years ago. But they are valid for 3 years. In other words, when a court is assessing you later, they can only use the points on a totting up basis if it is less than 3 years ago, but you cannot have it removed from your licence for 4 years.
All right, thanks, Alan.
Okay.
Cheers, mate.
How do Craig?
Hello, Alan.
Too young, get to bed. Hello, Mickey.
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about terrorism, please, and the harm it does to others. Well, I don't think the penalties they get are harsh enough, really. Well, I think they should be executed, the IRA prisoners and all that.
Well, it seems a bit silly to execute them if the net result of executing them, particularly in the case of the IRA, would be that you'd end up with more terrorists.
Well, I don't know about that, Alan, but you see, if they get harsher penalties, they're going to think twice about...
No, they're not. These people are prepared, and I don't want to make them sound in any way like heroes, but these people are prepared to die for what they believe in. The evidence of that was all too clear during the hunger strikes, when people actually starved themselves to death. I think it was 11 people that did it, and the net result of that starvation was that a number of other people became terrorists.
Yeah, well, you're right there, Alan.
I know I am. How do Neil?
Hello, Alan.
Yep.
I'm wondering about these bank holidays. How come you always seem to have them off?
Why not? In fact, I don't always have them off. I'm working on Monday night.
Well, every one so far you've had off.
No, I haven't.
You have.
No, I haven't.
Well, you're off tomorrow night for one.
That's one, yes.
But why are you off on Friday? You know,
I'm off on Good Friday.